What's up, guys? Zane for Forward Progress Madden. Sorry for there being no intro to this video. My laptop dropped out the battery while it was in last week sometime, and I had a corrupted hard drive, and I had to completely reboot back to factory install. So a lot of my video editing software, like Vegas and all that, is not completely put back on the computer. Nonetheless, we're going to take a look at an oldie but goodie here. We're looking at the 4-3 under yet again. As you can tell, it's probably my favorite defensive formation in the game. Probably my favorite formation in the game of football in real life too, simply because it does not have very many bubbles of weakness. There's a really good article I found on the internet that I'll link in this video that talks about weakness bubbles and why the 4-3 under is the best defense against pro personnel in the game. We're calling edge sting. It's a play that I ran last year a little bit. The setup we had was I would come out in it not flipped and then flip it once we were at the line of scrimmage. I would keep the right outside linebacker here, and we would just let the play be run as such. And this linebacker would typically come off the edge untouched and get this quick sack because of his blitz angle. But the thing is, this year, with a little bit of inconsistency, this is a key example. Same thing rarely happens twice, as you guys are probably noticing. He's actually supposed to come off the edge. The other video I did last year, he's supposed to come off the edge. But as you can see here, he comes through the B gap. I'm not really complaining about it. As long as the pressure comes in, I'm completely fine with it. Typically versus a spread set, let's see if we have just a generic spread set. Yeah, we do here. Versus generic spread set, he would come in like off the edge. So not really anything to worry about. It just depends on what your opponent's alignment is. But what we're doing this year is a completely different setup. As you remember last year, basically the blitz was left side or right side. Well, this setup this year is a bit different. We're going to keep the same pre-snap alignment, but what we're going to do is once we've got this linebacker placed, we're going to crash the line left and re-blitz both the left defensive tackle, he's the right defensive tackle on the screen, and the left defensive end, right of screen. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to get right edge heat and left B gap heat at the same time if your opponent does not block. And here it is. We'll go down to the replay and we'll check out what we've just labbed up here. By re-blitzing both those players that we just blitzed on the right side, we still get this right B gap heat, and by having the two linemen crashing to the left on this side of the screen, we allow the blitz angle opposite on the left side to come through the hole that's being created by their slant. So we'll go ahead and run a more spread out look here. And I'll set it up again to show you that, you know, the heat does come in versus both sets. So there's our setup. And of course you wouldn't run this versus a 5 wide look, but you do get a rusher free off of both edges. So on the left side of the screen this time, our blitzer's too close, and it actually proves what I'm talking about. Same thing rarely happens twice in a row. The physics engine just doesn't allow for a lot of consistency in this year's game. So I will show you that you do get the heat. So we'll crash left, place Nicholas here, re-blitz both these players, and we can just, you know, back up Witherspoon just a little bit to help him hit that hole, hopefully, at the right time. There he does, and we get the heat that we're looking for. So what if the offense blocks a running back? You're still going to get the left heat or right heat, depending on which side they're blocking. So even though you're sending 6, still a quick blitz. You can bump and run if you want to. Just, it's kind of up to you. Player preference issue here. Still going to get heat off of both edges. Running back actually is conflicted on who he wants to block. At first he's alerted that, you know, he's got this free rusher off the right side. Kind of pays attention to him. Then he sees the left B gap and tries to go to him. and it's really just a mess. So your opponent's going to be forced to really block 2 guys to prevent you from getting this heat. Now, of course, as with any video that I do, you can't just have one blitz. You've got to have its own complement. And we're actually going to go back to the Mike Will Cross 3. I showed a look out of the Mike Will Cross 3 in my last video, but this is not the same setup. It's just kind of a testament to how flexible this 4-3 under formation is. I really, really like it. So we'll go ahead and run it here again. This play is not a nano. I'm going to get that straight right now. It's not a nano, but we're still going to flip it and give the same pre-snap look. It's the most important thing with any defense. So we've flipped the play, keep the linebacker in place. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hook zone the left defensive end on the screen. That's your right defensive end in the depth chart. We're going to contain the right defensive tackle. And we are going to blitz. Actually, I screwed up that. We have to crash down the line first. So then we hook zone, contain, and we have both these linemen on this angle blitzing diagonally across the formation. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to user this guy in a spy, the middle linebacker here, Dent. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure to kind of keep the attention of the center and the left guard on the screen just to allow them to have weird blocking angles on these 2 players, Pariah Jerry and Ray Edwards. And what this is going to do is they're going to get their hands on the rushers, but it's not for long. The rushers will disengage from the linemen and be on top of the quarterback within a second typically of being blocked. So this is not a nano, but it's a very, very quick pass rush, and that's what we're looking for. Not to mention we're sending three players, 4 if you count the contain. Sometimes the contains actually get out wide, sometimes they don't, but here we go. We'll go ahead and show it to you. Look as the linemen have to reach and they actually get disengaged from their blocker. We didn't do a good job there, probably because I'm explaining while I'm breaking down the play, of occupying the left side, as the left tackle does a good job of getting in to pick up Pariah Jerry as he gets rid of the center. Notice here we'll go real time. Watch how quickly Pariah Jerry gets rid of the center. 1 Mississippi, less than a second is how quick he gets off of that. So if we can keep number 74 occupied long enough, we can get in on top of the quarterback with relative ease. So we'll set it up again, crash the line down, hook zone, contain, user this man in a spy right here. And maybe we'll just go ahead and keep him over here to the left a little bit and kind of user, and it's not working. So what can we do to make this blitz work? Going back to the lab video, we have a problem. We want to get Pariah Jerry in untouched. He gets rid of the center pretty consistently, and we want him to be able to get on top of the quarterback. Also considering we have pretty good pass coverage on the field as well. You can place that strong safety into a hook zone. But how can we get Pariah Jerry untouched? Well, one way you could do it is to place Abraham in either a spy or a contain. And then another thing you can do is to just also put Dent into a spy. You may run into an issue where you've got too many players in the same spot on the field, so make sure you get Dent out of the way. And you'll notice there's the issue right there. They get off the block and get down on the quarterback pretty quickly. This is something you're just going to mix in with your man blitz. So the other alternative, of course, is to place that player into a contain. And of course, you'd have to do a little bit of manipulating of the zones to achieve this. You've got 2 contains in the same spot. You may want to drop Witherspoon into a hook zone, or that's a lot of field that you've got to cover over the middle if you don't put Witherspoon in a hook zone. So especially with the popularity of corner routes, you're really responsible for a lot of field. Pretty much this whole area that I'm circling here with Dent is what you've got to cover. So you don't want to add to it by leaving Witherspoon out here, and then now you have to cover all of the middle of the field. So it's really up to you. Just get a good idea of what they've been doing, and maybe you can adjust to it as the game goes on. But this will work. If they're attacking the middle, you could of course leave Dakoud in his hook zone. So go ahead and just run the play again. And there you notice they get off the block and they get in pretty quickly. So just mix it in, change the zones up, but check out the new and improved 4-3 under edge sting and mix in this setup of the Mike Will Cross 3 and let me know what you guys think. I'll make sure that I got my video software, editing software, all that stuff back on the computer and get everything loaded. I got to redo my intros, so I might change it up a little bit with my next intro. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think, and until next time, get in the lab, and thanks, guys.